Hello, profit takers. It's Victoria here, and we are back with the last video of 2023. Now, this video is going to take us right into 2024, guys. We have, these trade setups that I want to cover with you all today, because everything, within our profit taker alert dash is in real time. And we want to prepare you for next week. Okay. I know it's going to be another short week with the holiday markets being closed on Monday. But still, once the markets open up, guys, we want to be ready. All right. So we're going to talk about the 2 peak high or peak low alert, which is also known as a 3-day reversal. However, continuations do still occur with these type of setups. So we're going to kind of look at what happened last week. And we'll see, what to look for in our coming trade week. All right, let's get to the charts. All right, so I'm going to do my best to cover all of the alerts that showed up for the 2 peak formation high low. All right, this might be a long video, but I'm going to try to go through it really quickly. So the first one is we'll just go here to the Aussie Swiss. Okay. So this one had the 2 days alert. And so when we get to the chart, obviously, none of this has happened. So we're going to pretend like we can't see none of this. Okay. None of this has happened yet. But before price hit the previous day low, it was looking like this, right? It was a 2 peak and 1 day of a break. So we're technically waiting for the second break to occur in market structure. All right. Since this has already happened, we're just going to back test the best that we can. Okay. So, what we want to take note of here is, we had, again, it was a short week. So this was our week high and of course our week low. If I can get my line straight. Okay. There we go. And we're trading away, right, from this area. Also, okay, Monday is not showing up here, but Tuesday is acting for Monday. And typically Tuesdays is your initial balance high and low, and then Monday's the open range. So we always want to trade away from those areas. However, price can always come back to the range as well. All right, so day 2 trade put in a low. So what I like to do is just go ahead and extend that out for the next day, because the idea here is that we're going to break the low, right? So in the earlier session, you definitely had an opportunity to take this drop, okay? And so this one for the Asia and London people had a beautiful short trade, all right at yesterday's low. And this is why we say just go ahead and use that as your target. Okay, so for us people in trading the New York, 1600, that's 9 o'clock for me. When I get to the chart, I'm looking for the reversal, right? Now, again, does a reversal always play out? Not all the time, but typically it will play out for us, okay? Typically it can. But we just want to see, okay? So we are going to see that we have a equals low here, and we can already see that there's a peak, right, that was placed on that for the day, for the low of the day. And so now that's our entry. All right, our entry is going to be, again, right above yesterday's low, right? We will take that entry above yesterday's low, and our target can be and this is why I like to keep the ADR lines over here, because I am going to hit either one of these targets, and I'm also seeing a quarter point here to take. Okay, so from this entry to 2 ADRs, about 42 pips. It didn't quite hit this quarter point there, but the moment that thing got there and started to pull away, I would have been closing this trade, because again, it is not a trade that you're looking to hold for the rest of the session. That's just not how these work out. And then it was Friday, getting close to, wrapping up, the week. Okay. So you just want to be mindful of those types of, those opportunities on a Friday. Okay. What else do we want to take our fibs out? So that could be used as an area also for target. Okay. Oops, I don't want to do that. I would just go with the 50%. You know, guys, I'm big on that. All right. So that could also be a target area, especially if you're just looking to, it's about 35 pips. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. Because technically, if we're going from the high to the low, guys, and we're looking for when this thing is going to start to retrace. Did I have my target right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. And look how the 280R just fits perfectly right there. Because I would definitely get out, because at that point, prices should be trying to go flat and then boom and retrace. Okay. So this is the entry at yesterday's low, which we like those entries. And then of course, we're going to get out of the trade either here or here. Okay. That's how we do that. All right. Let's look at another one. Try to get through these things pretty quick. Aussie yen. This is pretty looking like it's pretty similar. All right. Day 2 put in a low. So we're going to go ahead and extend this low out for the day. This trade didn't really play out as well. But for the earlier people, because obviously this is a pair that would be traded in Asia, you had the opportunity here, guys, to take the short trade from the high of day, and it just melted. Right? You had an opportunity for the continuation, for an additional. First of all, you would have taken this thing, boom, you had an entry right there. And then, of course, you can add on to the position here and, again, target yesterday's low. And at this point, you know, for the New York market, nothing that I would look to trade, but a low was placed in, a little quick scalp, if you will. But nothing crazy, nothing that, you know, I wanted to get so excited about, but the opportunity did bring itself. Okay. Sometimes the opportunities are not as grand. Now, this is Aussie New Zealand. Same thing with, well, actually, it's not really the same thing, because day 2 was just going flat. And this thing fell out of the sky as the markets opened on the next day, with a nice retracement for a additional trade. But again, this is not a pair that I would technically even want to trade, especially when it's doing all of, you know, it's not a smooth drop, right? Coming out of the gate, because I normally just like to see them to just come on and drop on down. But nonetheless, there was a low placed in for the day, and the reversal trade was in play, right? If this was something that you would take. And then from here, we just go from the low of day to the yesterday's low, right, for the target. Okay. Let's look at our current high to the low. Where's my 50%? Oh, I would have gotten in a bit earlier, right? But nonetheless, that yesterday's low is always a great place to take your profits, and in sometimes entries. All right, let's look at the CAD Swissy. All right, this one's a little bit better, right? This is probably something I would typically trade, especially when the pattern is so clean like this. I love to look at the clean patterns. The other one we just looked at, I don't really like to mess around with it, but just wanted to show you that the opportunity was there. So as you guys can see here, guys, we had a low from day 2, so we just extend that out, and then we just look for where we get in and get out. Now for this one, you could have technically got in early, right? Again, yesterday's low, not only was it where you would have taken profits from the earlier trade, but you could have taken you see this this candle right here. What is the bullpen candle? This is an entry. Once that thing closes, boom, you're in, right? This area for the 50%, that's just another area, again, based on where I drew the fibs from the previous entry point, right? Coming in the market here for an additional short trade. This is where we could have taken an additional long trade, or that could have been a place where you would have taken profits if you got in early right here, right? This is about 30 pips here. You could have taken profits there and or added until you got to either to ADR or the open, right? Or yesterday's high. And oh, I kind of let that go too soon. But I'm going to go right here on this retracement. That is not bad. 50 pips right there. So if I'm looking for, if this is my setup, guys, this is what I'm talking about. If you, this is how you can get an edge, basically. If you're looking at these different alerts and you're like, I like trading these reversals, right? Then this is the trade. This is the setup for you, right? Especially in the New York. However, in the earlier sessions, sometimes the reversal, if the price, you see how price closed up, you know, not only did it hit the low yesterday or the previous day, it closed back up high. And that to me signifies a stop hunt high setup for the next day. Usually that's what happens, right? Especially if you're going to get support from yesterday's high. Because again, we're looking to short the market. If it breaks the highs, then that's a different story. But I'm looking for this to hold and then give you the opportunity to take a stop hunt high drop trade, okay, to the low of the day. Sorry, my lines are a little funky here. Let's go to CAD. Now, I did take this one. It took forever, guys, because you look how many times it came. 3 times to the high on Friday, and I did take this trade. It was a great trade, but it just took a long time. And this one obviously was not a continuation based on the pattern because price was like in this rectangle. And I was thinking, okay, it kept acting like it wanted to give us a reversal, right? But it just did not. It kept failing. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to wait for this thing to hit this high one more time, and then we're going to go and get in. And that's when I finally got in this area right here. Okay. All right. And of course, target yesterday's low. And you can, and even sometimes I will just go ahead and take I'll place this, my line or my TP just right underneath, you know, before this wick, like right on the body, because, you know, sometimes it may not get past that area and sometimes it does. But this is another little trick that I like to do sometimes, but definitely, as you can see, if it does not hit yesterday's low to the T, this one did hit it to the T, like we saw most of them did hit it to the T. You can have it slightly above there, okay? All right, let's look at Euro Swiss. Man, Swiss was moving pretty clean, right? Putting in these lows for these reversals today. Now, this is a template that, okay, this is the last week of the month, right? So I'm going to follow this to see if this template plays out just like this January, you know, the last week, and see if day 3 is giving us these double lows, because sometimes day 3 is a straight up just continuation. It's just blowing through the lows like crazy, right? But for this particular template, guys, it is not. It is holding, right? You are getting an opportunity to take a reversal. Now, again, like I was saying in the beginning, it wasn't a reversal that was quite that well for us in New York, but nonetheless, some of these pairs did work out. All right, EJ. Okay, here's one that was a 3-day continuation trade. As you can see, price was in the box, right? We had this rectangle. And this trade was just like CJ, right? Going to the highs and failing, going to the highs and failing. All right. I mean, that's perfect. We want the stop hunt high trade. Now, again, this was later in the session. I'm not sure if you were, even trading this particular pair this late in the session. I was trading CJ, not EJ, that late. But nonetheless, guys, this was a continuation, and it did break the previous day low. So when the market opens again, we're going to be looking for one more break of the low. Okay. Now, GJ is a little bit different. Okay, let me just show you what happened here. It's the second day, but it's only broken the low once. So what happened? Price came back inside, right? And again, it was just very low, choppy volume. It did not hit any of these major levels for the day. And so with that, I'm expecting this to actually play out when the market opens again. Okay, that's the plan. So now the day 3 trade, I'm expecting it to happen on day 4. All right, continue to break these lows, right? Because it only broke it one time. So I'm looking for the second break here. Okay. We're not looking at GU. All right, here we go. NZDJPY. Another one. Okay, we're choose the day 2 trade, putting a low and a nice stop hunt trade for the early birds on the continuation. This one did not technically give you a reversal trade, just a nice retracement, and then of course continued on short and put in another low here. All right, now this low was low enough, right, to break the previous day. So now we have 2 days of break. Okay, and also equal lows. So we're going to wait to see again what happens with the market when it opens. Is it going to give a reversal, or is it going to break like we want it to break? Right. Again, it was slightly tapped, and I know I hate, I always hate it when I see when it just barely taps it, because even though it barely taps it, it counts. Right? It still counts. All right, and moving on to the dollar CAD. All right, this one is continuing on as we would expect it to, breaking highs. As we can see here, we had a nice stop hunt high drop trade. And I was watching this trade. I was like, what? Are we going to have a change of trend? And then it got to the low, because you see these gigantic candles, these vector candles, right? That's an indication that it's going to continue to go long, because it's this short, and you can see this is a half Batman pattern. And when you see these half Batman patterns with this short trade, it's just a quick reversal. It should continue to break the highs, because we've already broke 2. So expecting this structure here to break. Heck, it can hold, for another day before it actually breaks it. We don't know exactly when it's going to break it, but that's the next thing that we're looking for, unless it gets up here and it doesn't do anything at all and just continues to break down, right? That's the other option. All right, and then the last one here is UJ, and it's just like GJ, how we had, we've only broken once, and you can see it here. We've only broken a low one time, and it came back in. However, it did hit this major level up here, and it failed. So that's a good sign, right? Came up here 3 times, and it failed. That's a good sign for me. So perhaps this thing is going to do what we need it to do. And when the market opens back up, we'll be able to break this low, right? We'll be able to take this trade short. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm looking for. That's how we, go through this here real quickly, right? Find the trade setup that works for your style, for your edge, and for your time. Okay. All right, guys. If you don't have this Profit Taker Alerts dashboard, go to our website, profittakeраlerts.com. You can try it for free for 7 days, or skip the trial and just buy it. It's 30% off, and be sure to use this code, the PTAD TM30, at checkout. Its information will also be in the comment section of this video and in the description section of this video, so you won't miss out. All right. Well, thank you guys for spending a few moments with me here on the last day of the year, and we will see you next year. Ciao for now.